From the east and the west and the north and the south and all the way around the world, I am RJ Smith, and this is Crazy News Reacts. Welcome aboard. Before we even get started, hit that like button, and if you've watched me before, you know you're going to love this, so you might as well subscribe right now. Let's get to it.
Take a look at this. You're looking at a fairly new and dangerous designer drug, and it's made its way onto the streets of Northeast Florida.
It's being sold on the street as cocaine. It's being sold as MDMA, as ecstasy.
So there is a new drug sweeping across America. And guess where it comes from? That's right, China. Stay with me as we explore America's newest and most dangerous illegal substance. Let's go.
The new drug is called N,N-dimethylpentylone hydrochloride, and it is categorized as a cathinone. Now, a cathinone is a natural stimulant that comes from a plant, but this particular drug is something different. That is because it is a synthetic cathinone, meaning it is a concoction of dangerous chemicals.
So look, I think we all know that this is an epidemic. Every new drug that comes out here in the United States spreads across the globe, but it's not coming from the US. It's coming from Asia, specifically China, and they are killing us slowly by what they're sending here to our country.
Drinks, music, and casual conversation. Just another fun night out on the town.
We're seeing it in those areas where
But according to Jacksonville DEA Assistant Special Agent in Charge Mike Dubett, area nightclubs and bars are where law enforcement is finding a younger generation of people in possession of a new drug called N,N-dimethylpentylone hydrochloride.
More than 46 million people in our country have used illicit drugs. Some 75% get clean. But since 1999, there's been over 1 million deaths, and 75% of that is from opioids. Either way, a new drug hitting the street like this is surely going to spike that death rate. Let's see what they're talking about.
A narcotic that people are buying in chunks and then cutting into powder to snort, inject, or smoke.
it's very cheap. It's about $150 to $200 an ounce. So yeah, it's an alternative that people are turning to just because of the price and the effects that they're getting from it.
That's a lot of synthetic drug for very little money. At that price, we're going to see an amazing amount of people die in 2024. Look, I was stuck in drug abuse for 20 years of my life when I was younger. It ain't no joke. I always say it ain't no fun when the rabbit has the gun, because that's true. It took me a long time to get off this stuff. Oh, I was not addicted to this, of course. I was addicted to cocaine and speed, what they called back then. I also used Quaaludes and marijuana, and of course I drank. I was out of control as a young man, so I know how bad drug abuse is and the difficulty in quitting.
Those effects include an increase in energy and euphoria, similar to the effects of other narcotic stimulants. In fact, Dubett says the drug is often sold as cocaine, MDMA, and ecstasy.
So people are buying what they believe is cocaine, or people are buying what they believe is ecstasy, when in fact it is this chemical that's similar effects, but could be a little more intense and more dangerous.
And look, it's not just DDN. China provides almost 70% of the fentanyl that is shipped into the United States. The rest come from cartels in Mexico. A lot of that is also from China, and it's being transported through our southern border, which right now is a freaking mess, right, guys? So how are you going to get a hold on this drug when you can't even get a hold on the last one, fentanyl, that is still the #1 killer in drug overdoses?
Very little is still known about the drug. It was first detected in Sweden in 2014. Then 7 years later, it showed up in a U.S. toxicology report. Agent Dubett says 12 months ago, the drug started showing up in the Jacksonville metropolitan area.
Look, there's no doubt that this is a dangerous drug. When I was younger, I would have bought this and thought it was cocaine because it looks just like it. Cocaine comes in chunks like this and you have to cut it up. And I'm sure you guys know. And users are reporting an unbelievable high that mimics cocaine or meth. It's not just happening in Jacksonville here in Florida, but Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Orlando, the Panhandle, and all across the country.
Several days ago, 70 pounds or 32 kilos of N,N-dimethylpentylone hydrochloride was seized by U.S. Customs Border and Protection agents at Dulles International Airport. Agents say 2 boxes of the drug were sent from China and were listed on the manifest as beauty products. They were destined for an address in Washington, D.C. It's unclear if the people in China who shipped these drugs to D.C. are the same people responsible for supplying the same drugs to Northeast Florida.
We are never going to get rid of drugs around the world. As long as there is a captive user base, these drugs will continue to wreak havoc on our cities, towns, and provinces. But if you're overseas, you should also be worried about this because it's flooding into Britain. Isn't it funny how all of the NATO countries have a drug problem? Sounds like there is an intentional program underway to get as many people in NATO countries addicted and ultimately to die in order to prepare us for World War III. I think it's all related, and unfortunately, a lot of people are going to die. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm RJ Smith. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This way, when you come back, you will be a new subscriber, and I am grateful to have you. God bless you guys. I'll see you back here, right here tomorrow.